Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So the topic of today's video is a 1-month ownership review of my Jeep Gladiator Mojave. But first, before we get into the main topic of the video, we got to go on a drive and get some of those epic drone shots. Alright guys, like I mentioned, it's time to do my 1-month ownership review of the Gladiator Mojave. As I said, I've owned this Gladiator for just a little over a month now, just about to hit 1,000 miles on the odometer, and the experience so far has far exceeded my expectations. Now I will have to be honest and admit, I was not expecting that this Gladiator would attract the kind of attention that it does. Everybody just loves this thing, and I get so many people stop me and talk about it. As a matter of fact, I was just out here flying the drone around, actually getting some footage for the channel, and I guess there's a bike trail around here somewhere. This guy was out there, I guess, riding it, and he saw the truck, and he actually came all the way over here, just kind of asked me some questions about it and say how much he loved it and the color and all that. So it does attract a fair amount of attention, which I'll be honest, I was not expecting. But I mean, I gotta admit, this thing just looks so great. I'm really glad I ended up with the color combination that I did pick. See, initially, if I'd have had my choice, I probably would have ordered it from the factory with the black color. But I would say the combination of the granite and the orange accents just looks so good. Probably be my number one thing that I like about this so far is just the exterior looks of it and just how good it looks overall. So I've showed you before with the Mojave trim, you get all of the orange accents. Like I said, the color combination of the orange and the granite just give it a really good look. So also with the Mojave, you get these black wheels, and it also comes with these 33-inch mud tires, which give it a really aggressive stance. So to me, that's kind of the biggest thing about just a standard Gladiator, is what it's missing is a little bit bigger tire for the wheels, which I mean is a really easy fix, but you can see just how good these things look when they have the wheel wells filled up properly. Alright, so my number 2 favorite thing about the Gladiator Mojave, and I say just the overall fun factor. Now I haven't taken this thing off-road yet, but I do have a trip coming up here less than 2 weeks actually, where we're going to take it out to an off-road park and at least get it a little bit dirty. I'm not going to do any rock climbing or anything crazy like that, but I would at least like to take it down some dirt roads and maybe some easy trails at that off-road park. So look for a video on that coming fairly soon. So I mean, part of the fun factor is just the fact that even if you don't take it anywhere really off-road or gnarly, the fact that you could, just because of how this comes set up from the factory with the Fox shocks and the reservoir up front and the extra lift you get, the locking rear differential, which pretty much any trouble you get in, that's going to help you get out if you are taking this thing off-road. So I've showed you guys this before, but the other part of the fun factor is the fact that this is a convertible mid-size pickup, which really, there's nothing really else that exists that has that kind of capability. Just to show you guys how fast you can pop these panels off, and it's off. And it actually came with a bag to carry them in, so you can really pop them off really easy anytime you want. So just having that ability makes this, you know, in my opinion, one of the coolest vehicles out there. So the last element that adds to the fun factor of this Gladiator Mojave is just the large amount of accessories and little touches on it you can add to make it your own. So these Jeeps and Gladiators are so popular. If you guys do much looking, you'll see there's tons of accessories and aftermarket parts you can get to customize it. I know I've done a couple videos already. See, I changed out the antenna, I did some other little touches. Just a ton of stuff that's available out there just to make these really look exactly the way you want. So if I have to give one kind of negative about it so far, and that's, you know, really hard to pick out because there's so much I do like about it. So number one gripe would probably be just how quick this thing is, just kind of getting up to speed. It is a, you know, a big heavy vehicle with a V6 with 280 horsepower. I feel like maybe it's just a little bit underpowered. Now if you're going off-road with this thing, that's definitely plenty of power. You're not going to feel that there. It's more kind of city and highway driving, where you're going to wish maybe you just had a little bit more power. And I'm sure there's things we can do with it just to bump that number up just a little bit. That's honestly me really just looking for really hard to find something to complain about, because so far I'm just in love with this thing. I'd say so far this is probably my favorite vehicle that I've owned. I've owned quite a few. Up until now, the number one, I'd say, with just the fun factor and the overall fun of being a driver of the vehicle. My favorite one prior to this was I had a 2004 Mustang GT. It was a manual. It had a V8. You know, back then they weren't all that powerful. It was, I believe it was like around 260 horsepower, but that car was still plenty fast. So I had that car for almost 10 years and just love that thing. But I would have to say this is so much fun. This is probably replaced that on my list as the most fun cars that I've owned so far. So the other minor gripe I would have about this, and it's not a deal breaker for me at all, and this just kind of comes with the territory of it being a convertible, and I think there's plenty of things you can do to mitigate this a bit, but it'd be when you're driving this on the highway, you are going to get some wind noise. Now the nice thing about this is mine comes equipped with an Alpine stereo system, which is very powerful, very loud. It sounds really high quality. So if I do get into the wind noise, just turning that up a little bit usually solves the problem. I also believe to help with that some, you can get headliners for the Freedom Top to kind of help with the any noise issues you might have with these. So that may be something I look into here in the future. So another thing I love about this, and you could probably say this about really any mid-sized truck, but just having the utility of having a bed, and it's not an enormous bed like you get in a full-size truck, but it has plenty to meet what I need to use it for, which is, you know, hobbies and stuff, and just occasionally haul some things around. But then you're also, on the other hand, not stuck with something that's really just not fun to drive around, you know, city areas or suburban areas where things can be kind of tight, and maneuvering this around a parking lot where it's a little more compact and narrow is really a breeze, and something I found to be one of the most enjoyable parts so far about owning this truck. So one of the other things I really love about this truck is just how utilitarian the interior is, and at the same time it feels really premium, especially the materials. It's one of those things where it's really good to know, since it's meant to be an off-road vehicle, you know, this whole thing is, you know, basically waterproof, and, you know, if it's lifted out in the elements, it's not going to totally destroy it. And overall, it just gives it a really premium feel in here. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap things up for my 1 month ownership review. That's just kind of my thoughts on, you know, owning this thing so far. I'm going to obviously have this for a long time on the channel, so I'm going to continue to update this as we go with new stuff as I continue to use this more and take it on trips, and just kind of let you guys know, the status of how this is going with having this in the garage. Now, we still got a lot of plans for this truck, some modifications, some changes, and be looking at some more accessories to add to this. Also, if you're watching the video to the end, I do appreciate you guys watching and supporting the channel. So just to give you guys a little bit of a look into the future, and this could be fairly soon, or it could be a little bit of a wait, but this will not be the only Jeep on this channel here in the near future. So just a little bit of a teaser there. I don't want to give too much away, but there is something on the way that will be here relatively soon. And with that, I'm going to wrap up today's video. Guys, as always, appreciate the support, appreciate you stopping by and watching, and I will catch you in the next one.